and the team. Hey guys, welcome back to the Adler podcast. Today is episode number 44. Oh, why did I start again?
We looped.
Once enough. Today is episode number 44, and we've got quite a big episode for you. This is the Killers of the Flower Moon episode. We've been talking about this movie, it feels like, for ages, and we finally got to watch it. Franco, how's it going, first of all? Have you recovered from Friday?
Yeah, recovered. It's been quite a long weekend, so to speak. Started working again. I think Killers of the Flower Moon served as two movies in one. So I didn't watch anything else. But I want to get a bit in the mood to try and see some more horror movies. Maybe start Fall of the House of Usher, or maybe watch some classical movies like Suspiria or Halloween. I actually wanted to ask you guys what's your favorite classic horror?
Classic horror. What's my favorite classic horror? I would say, good question. I think I'd go with. I mean, if you had to tell me my all-time favorite horror, I think I'd have to go with Hereditary.
Yes, I think
Hereditary is my all-time favorite horror movie.
For sure. I was thinking of watching it again, in fact, and trying and convince my father to watch it, because it's not just horror. There's really good drama in that movie as well.
With regard to classic horror,
The Thing. Have you seen The Thing?
No, I have not.
Shame. We are going to say we're shaming Francesca for not seeing what's it called? What was it? Goodfellas? No, Goodfellas. I think she hasn't seen it. Anyway, hello to the other person watching us on the chat. Please leave your comments and also your
Evil
questions.
Dead, Franco. Evil Dead, maybe.
Evil Dead too. The Shining, Vera Keith. True.
The Exorcist. I mean, these are all great. To tell you one is very hard. The Shining, and that's a very, very good choice as well. I think actually The Shining might be it. Now, come to think of it, that's a really good suggestion as well. So yeah, there's so many good horror movies. Like, it's hard to pick just one. But Franco, this week, like I said, we've got quite the week, right? We got to watch Killers of the Flower Moon. We got to watch it at Embassy Cinemas, who are thankfully the sponsors of this podcast. And just a word from our sponsors here. 1 second, I'm trying to find the window.
Oh my God, basta all technology.
Thank you to Embassy running the show. It's so hard, man.
True.
10 different tabs. You can see all the tabs there on the screen.
Bollywood, okay.
Yes, because Embassy are really pushing with the Bollywood movies, and it's nice to see.
Very nice to see
on the screen. Not always Leonardo DiCaprio. A great performance, however. We'll talk about that later on. Because this podcast, guys, is now sponsored by Embassy Cinemas. And at Embassy Cinemas right now, we can see the movies which are being shown. Actually, a Bollywood movie over there, Ganapat. We've got The Exorcist, Believer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Paw Patrol, Mighty Movie, amongst others. We have a quick look at the show times. We already mentioned Ganapat. It's being shown tomorrow at 10:15. That's my favorite time to go watch a movie.
True.
Mornings.
So quiet and like no commentary behind you.
Exactly. So we've got a nice little Bollywood movie there, Ganapat. We've got The Exorcist Believer, which is one definitely for the horror movie fans. Obviously, as we're talking about Halloween, can't not mention The Exorcist. Killers of the Flower Moon, which me and Franco went to watch with Francesca and my parents last Friday. Great experience. I highly recommend going to watch it. Don't let the 3 hours, 26 minutes, kind of like deter you. Franco has a different opinion, but I think it's a great movie, well worth your time, well deserving of the runtime. Go and check it out at NBC Cinemas. Then we've got Retribution, Franco. You said it's a remake, right? Of
It
another
is a,
movie.
a remake, a remake of a Korean movie, which I'm checking it right now. Just a second. Retribution, because I remember the exact same story of a Korean movie. Have to see what's it called. Apparently, it's also another. The Korean remake is also a remake of a Spanish action thriller film.
Oh,
So the Korean movie was called Hard Hit. And I'm just seeing like apparently according to NME, this is an article that was published in 12 September 2023. It's called the worst film of the year.
oh, wow. Okay.
Look, I mean, it seems like a good action thriller. Sometimes you go watch these movies, you have to switch off like the
Oh, definitely.
you know, it's like yes, the filmmaking and the storylines, you know. You have to switch them
I mean,
off.
let's be honest. You have to keep in mind as well what and who this movie is made for, and if you're a fan of action movies, this movie is probably made directed for you, made for you, right? So
That's one
like I
thing.
said,
And do check the Korean one, Hard Hit, and there's also there's also the original one, which is Spanish, called I don't know if it's Hard Hit as well. I have to check again.
and also another thing we can say about Retribution is that you can watch two Retributions and still not be done with Killers of the Flower Moon.
True.
Because if you go to watch Retribution, watch it again, the people who are in the cinema for Killers of the Flower Moon will still be there, probably.
True. Yeah.
So then
Or
we've
maybe-
got Trolls. Yeah, go ahead, Franco.
Yeah, maybe they still want to watch another movie after 3 hours and 30 minutes of Killers of the Flower Moon. Go watch something like Trolls.
True. We've got Trolls Band Together, which is a nice one for the kids and for the whole family to go watch. And we've actually got Five Nights at Freddy's coming out very soon on the 31st of October. So that'll be next week. I've heard stuff about it. Definitely one that will make a lot of money at the box office. Apparently, it's gonna make a lot of money at the box office. This is one very, very, very popular franchise, Five Nights at Freddy's.
And it's Blumhouse production, so
Blumhouse, which is always a good pull with audiences. Generally made at quite a cheap budget. Blumhouse are the experts at making like movies with quite a cheap budget and still make them look quite expensive and still make them very, appeal to a very, very wide audience. And I mean, you've got the games of Five Nights at Freddy's. This is going to be a big pull.
True.
I'm expecting lots of people to be at the cinemas.
And
when
maybe
it releases.
maybe a bit tongue in cheek as
Yes.
well, like Intrigan was for sure. So who knows?
Exactly.
Would you
That's
go?
my
Would you go watch it? Would you go watch it?
Yes, I think I will go watch it. I'll try the game. Actually, try the game maybe if I have some time this weekend, because I've been hearing a lot of good stuff about the game. Apparently, the game is really scary.
But there's so many there's so many games right now. You have to find the original one as well.
Yes, that's true. And to conclude, some other horror movies. We've got The Nun 2 still doing very strong at the box office. In fact, we're going to talk about the box office in a little bit after the trailers. Haunting in Venice, still also going strong. Another good Poirot detective movie with nice elements of horror there. And Oppenheimer, which I believe tomorrow will be the last day Oppenheimer will be shown in the cinemas. I believe. Had a very good run. It'll be interesting to see when it comes out on digital. It's not out on digital, or is it out on digital?
I feel like it's getting out soon, as far as I
Coming out soon.
remember.
Yeah.
And
Nolan
and
had an
yeah,
agreement about like
Yeah.
3 months.
yeah, something like that. And yes, there's also like that's another 3-hour movie. After you watch Killers of the Flower Moon, you can go watch this one as well.
How do you recover from that, though? Like, how do you recover from
From
mentally from
Oppenheimer.
watching Killers of the Flower Moon and then Oppenheimer one after each other?
Who knows? Maybe there's nothing much to do during that weekend, you know.
No, but emotionally, you're not gonna
For sure,
like
for sure.
it's gonna
Okay.
break you, like emotionally break you. And to conclude, we've got Saw X, which, like we've been mentioning, very very good reviews, very good reaction by the critics. So definitely another one if you're a fan of slasher horror movies, one to check out. Definitely, Saw X has been a successful release in the cinemas. So thank you so much to Embassy Cinemas for sponsoring this podcast, and let's get into it. Franco, as
Yep.
always, before we get into the news and the trailers, let me know, what have you been up to this week?
Nothing much, mostly work. Finishing some much of the stuff. By the way, hello to the new viewers watching as well. Leave a comment down below and check out check out NBC Cinemas for their new releases and tell us what you have watched as well. If you have watched Killers of the Flower Moon as well. No, nothing much. That's like I said. Watched Killers of the Flower Moon. Started a new book called The Premonition Bureau. And like I said, I'm thinking of watching some horror movies, maybe even today. Tomorrow, I want to give a shout out to Dark Malta Tours. I really enjoyed the guy. Basically, they go around tours around Birgu and Mdina, telling the nasty, creepy stories. Again, something you can do for Halloween, and very interesting stories, almost on the grotesque. And I enjoy being with him. His name is Mario Cacciatolo. He
Okay.
was a BBC journalist as well.
Oh,
So,
damn. All right.
and yeah, very interesting. Looking forward to work with him again tomorrow.
Maybe we can
Um,
have him on the podcast, talk about horror movies with him. That'd be an interesting episode.
true,
Speak to
true.
him,
Yeah,
Franco. See,
we'll
see
do,
if he's
we'll do.
interested. That
Mario
would be an
Cacciatolo.
interesting guest.
Yeah, so we're planning to film a Halloween special for tomorrow, for a TikTok Halloween special.
Nice, 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 nice. Looking forward to seeing that.
And obviously we've seen Killers of the Flower Moon together. It's going to be a spicy one today. I wish there was Joe here, because Joe would be like, "Burn, motherfucker, burn!"
I think he has the strongest feelings about this movie from
It
us
seems
three.
like, yeah, it seems like.
I'm not in the middle. I'm more on Joe's side than your side, Franco. Sorry.
But there's nothing. Listen, like I said, I'm planning to go watch it again. Hopefully with the rest of the pricklies. Shout out the prickly pears. Um, Still, I'm finding myself being more in agreement with the Native Americans that are reviewing the movie. Plus, the Native American that I showed you was one of the consultants on the movie, and they said they have mixed
Yeah.
feelings, which
Yes,
I
yes, yes. Fair enough.
and I have to. And apparently, their YouTube suggested the Indigenous Inside of Killers of the Flower Moon review
Hmm.
by Native Media Theory. I'm planning to check that out after the podcast and see what they say.
Hmm.
Anyway, that will leave it until the reviews.
Definitely, definitely. So, in my case, I've watched quite a bit of stuff, but lots of tidbits here and there. So, this part of the podcast will be like my update on all the different shows I've been watching. So, to start off, so obviously, let me get it out of the way. We watched Killers of the Flower Moon as well, that we will review later on. With regard to series, I watched Gen V, the latest episode of Gen V, which I believe was episode 6. Yes, 2 episodes left of Gen V. I have to mention one thing from the episode. Jensen Ackles is so hilarious, so funny. Did you watch the last season of The Boys, Franco?
Still haven't seen it. Sorry.
You have to watch it for Jensen Ackles, Franco, because trust me, he is so funny in that role. He is so funny, and he had a small appearance in Gen V, and he's
What's
so
what's
good.
what's it called? Soldier Boy.
Soldier Boy,
Soldier
Soldier
Boy.
Boy.
Soldier Boy.
And he like every line he says, I was laughing, laughing, laughing. There was one point he said, "I'm red-blooded, but not commie red. I'm red, white, and blue." He's so funny, man. It's like the writing for Gen V is great. I have to mention
Lol.
that as well. Like props to the writers. I still to this day cannot believe I actually had my doubts for Gen V. Like
Okay.
I need to repent for having doubts on Gen V. I really was
No.
afraid it was going to be a teen drama like whole. Ugh. It's not.
Okay,
It's anything but. It has its moments, but it's not that at all.
it's promising. Because like I said, I am a fan of The Boys as well. I have to finish the other seasons, and so Gen V is not. Would you call Gen V derivative or
In what sense derivative?
if I'm watching The Boys, I
I
can
mean,
like
you can skip it. You can skip it, as in it's clearly it's introducing certain characters who are going to appear in the next season, but you can skip it, as in it's not going to matter.
Sorry, I have to go back. I've watched also, it's important to mention that soon enough there's going to be video nasties. And I've watched the
Oh
shorts.
yes,
Have you
you've
watched
watched
the
them all
shorts?
already, Franco?
I've watched
No, I
them
haven't
all. I've
had any
watched them
time.
all.
Oh
And
damn, okay.
I have my winner. So watch it
Nice, nice,
first.
nice, 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 nice.
I like there was one of them. Where I was like I was laughing my head off. Obviously we've got opinions, and yeah, I'm looking forward to meet the filmmakers. It's what really stuck to me with the movies, how resourceful they are and how many people they got together to do a movie. It's really it gives me a bit of like a warm fuzzy feeling, even despite the blood and gore. It was a warm fuzzy feeling seeing like people.
By the way, Franco, for our viewers and listeners who don't know what we're talking about Video Nasties, which is a show being organized at Spazio Creative. Will be all these different horror shorts will be shown at Spazio Creative on the 31st of October. Unfortunately, tickets have already been sold out. They sold out in like
Like
snap of a
this,
finger.
yeah.
Like,
It's because it was free as well. It's a free
Yeah.
of charge, organized by a friend of the show, Bruce Micalafeno.
exactly.
And
Yeah, it's up to us to see who's the winner.
and the
We'll
podcast is
discuss that.
judging.
Yeah, we're judging you. And we'll discuss it this weekend, Franco. This weekend we'll get together, me, you, and Joe, find some time to discuss and see who
Nice,
is,
nice.
in our opinion, the deserved winner. So I talked about Gen V. Yes, I had to give my final rating for Fall of the House of Usher because last week, obviously, I had watched like the first 6 episodes, I think 5 or 6 episodes, 6 episodes, and I had the last 2 to watch. I did watch them this week, and I must say that I agree completely with Keith, who said that the last 2 episodes really solidify the story and you understand exactly what's going on, and they really did. I was sitting at a 3.5, but after watching the last 2 episodes, it was 2 very strong episodes. I think I'm pushing it up to a 4.
Okay.
I'm pushing Fall of the House of Usher to a 4 out of 5 as a series. I think it's one of the best horror series I've personally ever watched.
Nice.
Honestly,
And I love
very, very, very strong by Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan. What I always forget the name of his vampire series. Yeah. Oh shit, that's a good spoiler.
Midnight Mass.
Midnight Mass.
Yes, so good, so good.
Sorry for anyone who didn't watch it. Anyway, it's you won't miss. You won't
Oh
miss.
yeah, true.
Shit.
Surprise!
Yeah, spoiler.
It's a vampire series.
No, but they won't. The power in it wouldn't be lost. Wouldn't be lost at all. Like there are some scenes where like I still have that image of one particular episode. No, the power lies within the drama as well.
Yeah, definitely. So then I watched Lessons in Chemistry. I also watched this with my girlfriend. I watched the Gen V as well with her. Lessons in Chemistry is still a solid series. Very good performances. I like this episode. I'm going to continue watching it and see how the story develops. It's not the most. I'm going to be honest. It's not the most like riveting TV show ever. But solid performances and decent production value can get you a long way when it comes to TV series. So overall, I'm quite happy and looking forward to the next episode. And finally, just before this episode, I finished the most recent episode of Loki, which I'm again also surprised. It's been really, really exciting stuff. Lots of time traveling as well in it. The most recent episode was mostly set in the 1890s. I have to be honest, I haven't seen production design this good in a Marvel production in ages. I'm not just talking about series, mind you. Even like movies, like the production design is great. There's an appearance by a character which I knew it was going to happen, but I was surprised this character was given this much attention due to some stuff that happened. Maybe people might start to be guessing who I'm talking about, but I'll try not to spoil it too much. But yes, I think overall Loki has been a big surprise as well for me. And, just props to the production design, to the special effects, CGI. The fighting is great. The action is great. Overall, really great,
Okay.
great series so far. Season 2 has been so much better than season 1.
Oh,
Honestly, honestly.
I was gonna ask you. Okay, I might check Loki because
So much better, so much better than
okay,
season 1.
if it wasn't for that AI poster though, Jesus Christ, come on, like if you're telling me like they put so much effort in the production and made it
The
like
production design, trust me, Franco, the 1890s look great. Really look good. Really good. The costumes, like even they have different machines, which are obviously futuristic because there's the element of science fiction here as well. But still, it's so well done. Really well done. Really well done.
and
And
I love me a
go ahead.
time I'm love me a time traveling series. I'm sorry,
Mhm.
I'm a sucker
Definitely,
for.
definitely, definitely.
Speaking of Halloween horror, there's a good almost I would call it sci-fi horror called Time Crimes, Chronocremens. I don't know if you ever saw it.
No, I haven't.
Watch it, man. It's an amazing solid thriller, sci-fi thriller.
Will do. Franco, that is pretty much my week. So, shall we get into it?
Yep. But before we go, we tell our audiences to subscribe, leave a comment, chat with us, say hi, and yeah. By the way, I forgot to ask you one important question. What is the Oddly podcast all about? And we're
I was expecting this question.
because I tried to change a bit the format today. You know, it's like make it a bit.
Surprise our viewers. And
Yeah,
listeners.
our viewers have been waiting. That's why we have 6 people watching, expecting that question. What is the Adler podcast all about?
So, the Adler podcast, all about movies, all about series, all about video games. This week, we've got a bunch of trailers to talk about. We're going to focus on 2 specifically. The trailer for Eileen and a trailer for the Zone of Interest. Zone of Interest really has my attention. Then we're just going to have a quick comment about the second trailers of Napoleon, Ferrari, and Saltburn, but those we talked about. So our viewers our loyal viewers who watch this podcast every week or listen to it, have already heard our thoughts. We'll just give quick thoughts about those. We've got some news as well. I feel like we haven't done some number crunching in a while, Franco, so I think it's a good week to look at the box office, see what has Taylor Swift been up to, as well as how good Martin Scorcese's latest movie has been doing at the box office. Matthew Vaughn has been in the news quite a bit, talking about Star Wars, Marvel, and all different superhero stuff and all the Star Wars stuff. So we'll get into that as well. Some interesting discussions there. James Bond. What's the future for James Bond? Barbara Broccoli, what is her name? Let us know what is the future or potential future for James Bond. And finally, a quick update on the SAG AFTRA studios, and the studios returning to negotiations. We'll have a quick look at that. Then, to conclude, obviously, we have the bit what I guess everyone is here to listen and watch, which is our review for Killers of the Flower Moon. Hopefully, Joe can join us for that. So, Franco, without further ado, let's get into the trailers. To start off with the first trailer we have to talk about this week, which is a trailer for Eileen. Now, I remember,
Come on, Eileen.
I don't know if you were on the podcast that week, Franco, but we had just mentioned it. We had seen, I think, this image. Not this image, actually. We had seen this image. You remember it?
Yes, this one. And
this image.
And
we had talked about it.
I saw the trailer. I think I linked it to the chat, to our team chat.
I think so, yeah.
My interest is peaked. Looks very Hitchcockian. The colors are very rich. Thomas and Mackenzie is slowly blossoming into her own star, and Hathaway as well seems to have like fun in her. It seems like a very sensual role she has as well, right?
Definitely.
She's the title character, right, Eileen?
Yes, she is. Actually, let's introduce this to our viewers and listeners to let them know what it's about. So, obviously, guys, as I mention this every week. Unfortunately, we cannot show you the whole trailer because of copyright. The whole stream will get blocked since we're live, definitely, and we can't edit it, so we can't unfortunately show you the whole trailer. But do check it out. It's an interesting trailer. So what is Eileen all about? Mild-mannered Thomasin McKenzie undergoes a dramatic change when she meets Anne Hathaway in the new trailer for Eileen. The psychological thriller will be released this December. In the new trailer for Eileen, in the trailer for the new thriller, Mackenzie plays the titular Eileen, who works in a grim prison in 1960s Massachusetts and has an equally grim home life with her sour father, Shea Wiggum.
Shea Wiggum.
And I feel like I've seen Shea Wiggum in so many series and movies.
I think he was in the last Mission Impossible, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he was. I believe he was. Boardwalk Empire, for example.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, Franco, so you mentioned colors, and that's the one thing I was going to mention here. The colors are stunning. There's the red at one point, which looks amazing here. Here, this red looks absolutely stunning. Like the lighting in it looks great. Obviously, we have to talk about the director. Have you watched Lady Macbeth, Franco?
Shame on me, I haven't yet.
Shame on me, I haven't either. I've been meaning to watch it. Like, my family can attest that I've mentioned like 5, 6, 7, 8 times that we need to watch Lady Macbeth. And every time, we cannot find it on streaming. And every time we're like, oh, maybe we'll watch something else now.
And not to mention, there's our Lord and Savior, Florence Pugh as well.
Lady Macbeth. And the whole picture. In Lady Macbeth, by the way, not in this movie.
Lady Macbeth, yes.
Who are not sure about. Overall, performances look stunning. Like, performances look really good. Anne Hathaway, I mean, surprise, surprise. It's probably going to give another great performance. And she looks great as well, man.
Yes, awesome.
Looks so good in this. Visually, it looks stunning. Like the direction, camera work, the lighting, like we said, the colors all look great. I think this is, and here we go, Franco, Entertainment Weekly, completely agree with you. It's a wild Hitchcockian noir. The first reaction, this shot is beautiful.
So good.
Such a good shot. I think the first reactions to this movie have also been very positive. I believe Collider also gave their first reactions to this movie. And they said it's an intriguing little story that shifts and alters the further it goes, playing with the audience and giving them the opposite of what they're expecting, which seems to be a good reaction. And so, like I've said, Sundance Film Festival reviews have been very positive with regard to Eileen. So, Franco, I don't know if you want to add anything else, or else we can move on to the next trailer.
Apparently, we have to wait until December. It will be our Christmas movie, apparently, it seems like.
Yes. yes. It'll be interesting to see if we get this released in Malta. Could be a nice thing to hint to Embassy, because this is a movie I really want to watch.
Embassy, if you're watching, this is the movie we want. Apart from Talk to Me as well.
Yeah. You know what I was thinking, Franco? Maybe we can suggest, but it would be impossible because it's costly to buy the rights to show a movie. Because if they could show these movies like one-off, maybe have an event, but it's so costly to get the rights even just to show it once.
But
very costly to get the rights.
But apparently, it's more. They said last time that it's KRS that have the rights. They cannot be like yes.
Yes.
But last time, I think I don't know if I have someone who I know who works at KRS. Maybe it's like I slip in a word and see how it works.
Yeah. Because it's the same thing I wanted to say about this. The zone of interest, because this movie looks great. Did you watch the trailer, Franco?
Nope, haven't pre-watched this, and and apparently it's Jonathan Glazer. I liked his Under the Skin. Under the Skin was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. The way Scarlett Johansson gave a really good performance, and even remembering the baby and the beach. Remember that scene?
I haven't watched it, Franco. No, I haven't watched it. No, I haven't.
Oh my God, Andrea, shame! Please comment shame in our chat. Shame, Madonna, Under the Skin. Maybe, but then again,
no, I haven't watched.
Then again, have you watched Sexy Beast by Jonathan Glazer?
No, I don't think I've watched anything by him.
Yes, yeah.
No, I don't think I watched anything. by him.
Bit of trivia: Jonathan Glazer used to be a music video director as well. As far as I
okay.
remember, he did something for Blair. I don't know if it's also for Radiohead, but yeah,
Okay.
check out his
If it's
music
Radiohead,
videos.
I've watched it because I think I've watched all
Their music video.
Radiohead's music videos. I love Radiohead. But let's get into it. So, why am I so excited about the Zone of Interest? A24. So, again, those A24 vibes coming in. Has unveiled the first trailer for the Zone of Interest, a clinically told, and I agree completely with that, clinically told, yet thematically rich story about the banality of evil. Directed by the acclaimed British filmmaker Jonathan Glazer, the Zone of Interest premiered at this year's Cannes Film Festival, where it won the Grand Prix and the FIPRESCI. Oh my God. That's
Fipreschi.
prize. Zone of Interest has also been selected as the UK's official entry for the Best International Feature category at next year's Oscars. Told largely in long static shots, the film captures the mundane daily activities of a seemingly regular German family. Just so happens that the patriarch of the family is Rudolf Hoss, the Nazi who served as the commandant of the Auschwitz concentration camp during World War II. The minute-long trailer doesn't include any moments of great drama, but juxtaposes disarmingly innocuous images of a bunch of people going about their lives, eating meals together, tending to the garden, having a swim, while unspeakable atrocities are committed inches out of frame. I'm just gonna come out and say it. The whole concept behind this trailer is bloody fascinating. I don't know. What do you think, Franco? I'm just gonna. I mean, we're not missing out on much. They're all still frames, almost completely still frames, basically.
I have to see it. I have to check it then after or just see it over here because I have another window open, and it's I don't know if is there a bit of sound design as well in it? I mean,
yes, the soundtrack. The soundtracks. I've read a lot of praise for the soundtrack. The soundtrack in the trailer itself is so good. Again, very the mood it generates is really scary. Whilst all you're seeing are basically people going about an almost normal life, but like I just read, like that a few meters away, the worst atrocities you can never think of are going on. And I think that's the great juxtaposition of this movie, right? You've got this family, right, going to swim in a pool, having a little party, preparing, dressing up, having a little party, and all the while, that the patriarch of this family is committing the worst imaginable crimes, the worst imaginable horrific stuff, and that is fascinating. Like even this scene, look how peaceful this scene is. But at the same time, you've always got this niggling thought in your head. And the soundtrack, that's why the soundtrack is mentioned. The soundtrack does a really good job in generating and creating this really creepy or mood, like this mood where like something bad is going on.
haunting us, yeah.
Haunting, that's it. Like, and I mean, the shots are beautiful. This is a very, very beautifully shot movie. What do you think, Franco?
I was checking actually, like who is it's based on a novel by Martin Ami. So following what was it, the one we also disagreed on? There was the Adam Driver movie with directed by Noah Baumbach.
Oh, he's the same author.
Same author, by the same author.
All right. That was.
Yes.
Let me see if I can find it here.
It is the director of photography, of course. That's why it's beautifully composed. Lucas Zal, the guy who did Ida, and also Cold War.
Okay.
He's such a great cinematographer. Love his work.
That explains a lot. Have you heard, Frank, of Mika Levi? He's the composer.
Mika Levi, yes, of course. Mika Levi, I don't know how they identify. Let's keep it on they. They also composed Under the Skin. And they used to be part of a band, Mikacho, there it is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, they're quite good. And she also did Jackie. Okay.
Jackie, all right. The Fall. Okay, interesting. So good stuff by Mika Levi, apparently.
Yes.
Very,
Even
very good
I,
stuff.
I was listening. I just watched the trailer on another screen. Yeah,
Yeah,
looks
yeah, 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 yeah.
it gives me Tar vibes where there's
Yes,
something like dreadful happening or gonna happen.
yes. So, to our viewers and listeners, let us know in the comment section below what are your thoughts about the first two trailers we've mentioned here, Zone of Interest and Eileen. Also, don't forget to like the video, guys. Like. One like for you is just a click of a button. For us, it means the world. Moving on, Franco, we got to watch the Napoleon trailer
In
at
cinema?
Embassy and even Ferrari, right? What, did we watch the Ferrari trailer or
No,
not?
no,
I don't know.
there
No.
wasn't Ferrari. No.
But we saw the Napoleon trailer in Embassy Cinemas.
When I told
Um,
when I told you Vanessa Kirby looks like Lady Gaga.
don't know if you want to have if you have any comments on this on the newest Napoleon trailer.
No, nothing much. I mean, I want actually want to check his duelist before I watch this.
Yes, The Last Duel. That's a great movie. Highly recommended to our viewers and listeners. Go and watch The Last Duel. If you haven't watched it already, please watch it after this podcast, of course.
But there was also The Duelist, one of his first movies by Ridley Scott. That's why I was
All right.
asking.
Okay. All right. No, I haven't watched The Duelist, by the way. I haven't watched The Duelist
With
either.
an early Harvey Keitel as well, huh?
Oh, okay. No, I haven't watched it, to be honest with you. I thought you were talking about The Last Duel.
No, that one is the one I haven't watched either as well. Last Duel.
Watch it. It's very good.
Sure.
I think if I had to just pass one comment,
Oh look,
obviously visually it looks great. Look where this is.
it's a Malta. It's a Malta.
It looks great. It looks absolutely stunning. This shot. Oh
Of the
my
pyramids,
God.
right?
This shot. Oh, it's the kind of stuff that any history buff just looks so great. I love also the fact that they got the scene with him picking up the crown. That actually happened, by the way, Franco. I don't know if you knew.
Yes.
They actually took the crown from the Pope and put it
Himself, yeah.
on his head himself to show that, listen, I'm the one who took this crown. It wasn't given to me. I took it. And
Sorry.
Yella said, "That's not Malta. No cranes in sight."
True, Yella, true.
True.
Hello, Yella. Hope England is treating you right.
Yes, indeed. I hope you have weather which is as good as it is in Malta right now.
England.
Right now, we're lucky. We have very good weather.
England is a city.
The battle scenes look stunning. The costumes, I know I go on a lot about costumes. Costumes look great as well. The costumes look really good, especially in the crowning scene. This scene. And look at those costumes.
So good.
I know Joe will be probably cringing at me talking about costumes. So overall, I'm very excited. There's one thing, Franco, I wanted to mention actually about this trailer.
Yes.
I'm a little worried. I'm a little slightly. Oh, it's raining in England right now. Yella said.
Raining.
There's one thing I'm a little
in England. Yeah.
There's one thing I'm a little worried about because Napoleon is known to be quite a loud, charismatic personality. Gives grand, big speeches to his troops and so on. He seems to be giving quite a quiet performance as Napoleon, Joaquin Phoenix. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe it's just the scenes we have here, and then maybe in the battle scenes when he's dealing with his soldiers, maybe he's changed his personality. But it'll be interesting to see Joaquin Phoenix's performance. Obviously, one can never doubt Joaquin Phoenix
for sure.
Point. How can you ever? The Ferrari trailer, Franco. All I wanted to mention is the sound. It sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Did you see the scene, however, Franco? This is the one scene that got me a little worried. There's a scene with where the Ferrari crashes. The CGI looks a tad wonky. What do you think?
Okay. Oh my God, that Oh,
Like sad,
my
sad little wonky.
my heart. Oh my God, my heart. I felt that in my heart. Sorry. Oh
Like
my
sad,
God. Can,
sad little wonky.
can I see it again, please? Just to confirm. Uh,
Here we go. Oh my
oh
pong.
my.
Oh, I mean, it's almost funny.
Oh, but what happened? What happens? Like it's because it looks kind of unrealistic as hell.
It looks
As well.
very unrealistic. Like the car flips. The car flips.
Yeah.
Boom, flips, and then pong. But that's a wooden pole. That's a wooden pole. Like seeing this, I mean, this is hilarious.
I don't.
I hope they get to fix the CGI before this.
That's one thing, and secondly,
ruin a movie. Yeah.
Illallo. And secondly, as far as I remember, the accident happened in real life. But I don't know.
Yes, it did. It did happen in real life. This is a true accident. And then the Ferrari got into big trouble, Enzo Ferrari. And the pity is the rest of the film looks really good. That's the worrying thing, because Michael Mann, when he gets to shoot on, he shoots beautiful movies. The racing looks great, like seeing the cars race, and the sound design. Like this looks practical.
Yeah.
This looks great. It's just that one little moment which has me really worried. This seeing the car.
Please stop.
Obviously.
Please stop.
To be honest with you, in Gran Turismo there was a little crash. The crash was really beautifully shot. If props to Gran Turismo and the CGI effects there, that was felt very real. If I had to give props to Gran Turismo, so hopefully this can be fixed before the movie releases. And to conclude, I just wanted to mention that there's a new trailer also for Saltburn. We already commented about it, so I'm not going to get into it too much. But Franco, don't know if you want to add anything about it. Again, this movie looks stunning.
It seems like no, but it wouldn't be fair on Emerald Fennell. I will withhold my comment, because I was going to say like something like if Wes Anderson actually directed something new, but this is totally Emerald Fennell and Barry Keoghan. Jacob Elordi looks amazing as well.
Jacob Elordi, yeah.
And apparently they said that his Elvis is much better than Austin Butler's.
Lots of praise for Jacob Elordi's Elvis. Lots and lots of praise. Yeah, this looks great. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this as well. Releases in theaters on November 17. Will be interesting again to see if this is a movie which catches KRS's attention.
Sorry, I'm checking. The creator continues to struggle at global box office. Oh.
Yes, the creator. We're going to talk about that, Franco, because we've just finished all the trailers. Guys, let us know in the comment section below any of these trailers which caught your attention. Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this podcast, please don't forget to like the video. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe, because generally half the viewers we get on the podcast are not subscribed. So please do subscribe. Let's get into the box office then, Franco, since you mentioned. Okay, how do I get out of the... Oh, my Lord.
Are you on Brave?
I am on... no, I'm on... Wow. Opera. Actually, let me open up. Open up in a different link. In a different website, since it's not letting me. There we go, Deadline. Hopefully Deadline doesn't block us. So, we're going to now talk about the box office. First of all, we have to talk about the Taylor Swift in the room, because Taylor Swift has been for a little, just shooting one day in the life of a Taylor Swift concert. That's it. And that's making not millions, hundreds of millions. So that's one thing.
Andrea, take care. Don't underestimate the anger of the Swifties. Huh?
Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. I mean, I think I've made that quite obvious. I don't enjoy her music, unfortunately. I respect the people who love Taylor Swift.
And we lost some subscribers, and no one's watching now. No.
But one thing, Franco, did you watch the videos of Swifties dancing around in the cinema?
I've heard about it. I've read something about it, like they're dancing and enjoying themselves. I mean, listen, have you ever watched the trailer reactions of RRR in Indian cinemas, so they're throwing
No, no, no,
throwing
no, no.
flowers. I think it's a bit of us Westerners being like sniveling little posh. What was it? The word, I forgot the word. Yeah, sniveling little snobs. That's the word.
Fair enough. True. That could be true. That could be true. But you know what it reminded me of? Midsummer, honestly. The cult of Midsummer. And I saw on Twitter, there was a very funny video. The Swifties dancing around hand in hand. And then a shot from Midsummer put next to each other. And they looked exactly the same. I swear they looked exactly the same. I swear, sorry if you're a Taylor Swift fan, guys. But they looked exactly the same, obviously. I'm joking. But what apart from Taylor Swift, obviously, Killers of the Flower Moon how has it done? I was excited to see how it's been doing. It's gotten 21 million in America and 44 million. So the global bow factoring in its strong domestic opening was 44 million. So that's a decent opening with globally 44 million for a movie which is 3 hours and 30 minutes long. So no promotion because you have actors like Leonardo DiCaprio, De Niro, Lily Gladstone, who cannot promote such a big movie, which is
Yes, because of the SAG AFTRA. Yeah, I forgot that.
Exactly. So I think Apple will be happy with this, keeping in mind this movie wasn't actually made for cinema. It's actually made for streaming on Apple. And then it was decided later on that this would be also released in theaters, which I think was the smart thing to do.
Yeah, well, your first comment upon seeing Apple TV is like House of Netflix.
Yeah, I remember I was like, seeing, I mean, even just the fact that you know that this is going to come out on Apple TV. So you watch it in the cinema and you're like, this movie really needs a rewatch, but maybe I won't go watch it in the cinema again. You know what I should do? In a month's time, subscribe to Apple TV and watch it on Apple TV. Then in a month's time, I'll watch it at the comfort of my own home. That is, I think, very, very, very smart marketing. By Apple.
And it's not only us unknowns that are saying this. Even huge YouTube stars, which I suggest again, like to our viewers and listeners, to watch Patrick H. Williams' The Death of Cinema and his art content, because he said the exact same thing. Like one of the suggestions was, dude, release it on cinemas and then release it on streaming. I mean, that's the ideal business plan. You know, it's like
Netflix, please. Also interesting is to compare the release of Killers of the Flower Moon, with similar movies in the same period of time. It's on par with Ford v Ferrari, 7% ahead of The Imitation Game, 14% above Captain Phillips, 25% over House of Gucci. So more or less, this seems like it's doing as expected, or actually maybe even a bit better, to be honest. Maybe a bit better. With IMAX actually doing really well. IMAX screenings for Killers of the Flower Moon, Lucky Joe, have been doing really, really well. Well above their typical percentage of national totals, which is, again, impressive. Leo, another Bollywood movie doing really well, 43.9 million overseas. I don't know if you've heard of this, Franco. I just
not
heard
yet.
the new name,
Just
heard,
heard,
I know nothing about it.
But the way I must say about the Eras movie, I saw the trailer at the other cinema. I was quite impressed by the filming. It doesn't look. It's not half-assed filming. It's proper filming. So it's got its.
Leo's, look at this, Franco. Leo's part of director Lokesh Kanagaraj's LCU, Lokesh's Cinematic Universe.
Oh,
arrived in Bollywood as well.
Oh God! Speaking of which, I mean, this is a good segue into Matthew Vaughn's takes on Star Wars.
Definitely. So moving on, guys. I actually saw this little bit of news. I want to mention it really quickly as well.
Ooh.
Fallout TV series. Yeah, we'll talk about that later on. But I'll use that segue. Franco, it's a very good segue to talk about all these different franchises. And let's start off with Marvel Studios, because Matthew Vaughn, like I mentioned, who himself is no stranger to the superhero genre. He did Kick-Ass, he did X-Men First Class, which by the way, X-Men First Class, I still haven't watched.
It's his two movies, First Class and what was the other one? First Class and the sequel. Apart from then the Dark Phoenix, because Dark Phoenix.
Oh, Dark Phoenix was horrible.
But
Horrible.
First Class and the second one were quite. I enjoyed them, and they gave a bit quite different. Still, what did Matthew Vaughn say?
So he goes into obviously the whole topic of superhero fatigue. I think at least DC is under. I think James Gunn and obviously Peter Safran, they've got a good chance of popping, and hopefully Feige will go back to less is more and make less films and concentrate on making them great. That's his first comment. Second comment was about the CGI.
Matthew, don't hold your breath.
Because Vaughn agrees with us in saying that today superhero movies rely too much on CGI, saying that it has fucked up everything as well because you feel like you're watching a video game. Ant-Man 3, cough, Ant-Man 3. You're not with the characters.
Anka Marvels, the latest. The Marvels we saw, I think. We saw the Marvels.
The Marvels trailer. Yes.
Okay.
Look awful, though,
No, that doesn't look awful, but it's like
good actors as well, Brie Larson and the like.
Yeah. Sorry, I
don't know.
I'm just checking a bit the mic. Okay, this is much better. Sorry.
All right. Anyways, because this is an interesting comment. You're not. This is continuing with the CGI comment. You're not with the characters. Apart from Guardians, I still think Groot and the Raccoon are fucking penises of genius. I agree. That I feel so much for them. So I'll be intrigued. And I think that's the one of the greatest things Guardians has done, and Guardians 3 does really good, is make you care about Rocket, right? Which is impressive.
True.
Vaughn was, and this is his final comment about Marvel and superhero movies, was surprised by the box office results of The Flash. I don't understand how he could be surprised. He said he really enjoyed it. What really freaked me out was that I really enjoyed The Flash. I thought it was a really good film, right? And it died at the box office. And I'm like, wait, hold on. This is a good movie. What happened? And I don't know whether that was superhero fatigue. We've just seen it done. So even now that we've made it well, there was some really, really complicated, hard, and quite special, unique filmmaking in that film, which I don't think Muschietti got enough credit for what they pulled off. So, Franco, where do you want to start off?
Hold on. I mean, the Flash, I saw some of the CGI. I was like, not top notch. And there were some good, again, Corridor Crew, yada. My bias. They did a great breakdown of it all, and especially the last scenes, like that's how you end the reboot of a whole universe. I'm neither here nor there. I'm quite on the fence, but I'm definitely not on the fence about his Star Wars comments for sure. I'm like,
before we get into the Star Wars comments, Franco, I just want
to mention a few. You go ahead.
The first thing I wanted to mention was, I think right now Kevin Feige understood this issue as well, because I get the impression that they've been cutting down on the series. A lot of series have been delayed to eternity. Basically, they've been cancelled without being cancelled. And it feels like the movies they have planned, there are much less than there were in the previous two phases. Phase 4 and Phase 5 really got too bloated with too many movies. So I think this is something that Feige understood. On the topic of CGI, I completely agree with Matthew Vaughn. I think the CGI has been way overdone. The volume is being used way too much. Listen, don't get me wrong. If you have a good director who knows how to use it, use the volume. Obviously, you can't go to space to shoot scenes in space. You can't go to Mars to shoot scenes in Mars. But if you can go to a real-life location, please go to a real-life location. You have so much money, and it costs even more. The creator showed us it costs even more to shoot on the volume than it is to go on location and to film there. It costs even more. So what's the point? Why just have everything done with the volume and with CGI? It just makes absolutely no sense. So, but then I find it quite ironic that he goes into the whole topic of CGI and then says he was surprised that The Flash didn't do well at the box office. Because one of the biggest problems with The Flash is because of its shitty CGI, because the CGI was so awful. And you had people not going to the cinema because on Twitter, the amount of clips of horrible CGI I saw of The Flash before the movie even came out in Malta was incredible. I watched it because I have to watch it. That's the only reason why I watch The Flash, because it's my homework, right? Because I wouldn't have watched it if I had seen the baby scene before, the CGI of the baby scene. And no way am I going to waste 2 hours of that. But I had to watch it because it's my homework.
Mama.
And to be fair, I didn't mind it. I mean, I gave it a 2.5 or a 3, 2.5 or a 3, I forgot. So I didn't hate it, but come on, Matthew Vaughn, if you're talking about CGI, you can't then go into
The Flash.
The Flash. Anyways, Star Wars. Franco, you wanted to talk about Star Wars. So what did Matthew Vaughn tell us? Do you want to go through the comments first and then you comment? Franco?
Just that basically he said that he'd like to remake Star Wars, and all I'm saying is like, enough fucking Star Wars, please. Oh my god, enough Marvel, enough Star Wars. There's so many original stories that need to be told. Like, listen, for my own opinions, for my own controversial opinions about Killers of the Flower Moon, at least it was an original story, based on a book. And what else? The creator, with all its flaws, was original as well. Boys Afraid, Babylon. There are stories that need to be told. Why the fuck do we need another Star Wars and another Marvel? And then enough already, Astra. It's and you're not even respecting. I feel again, it's totally disrespecting the audience. Not to mention the source material. I'd say, like, enough, genuinely enough. I mean, Anka, like Joe said with Ahsoka, it's like they're not doing. I sincerely hope there is another Andor, which I'm not holding my breath for, because Andor was great, like that political intrigue, or like I said last time, a Star Wars horror. They should make a Star Wars horror, or some kind of like. I think they did some sort of time traveling thing, right? In Ahsoka, I don't know.
I haven't watched it yet, Franco, so I can't comment about that. To continue on your argument, Franco, so I think to make it clear, we're not saying that Star Wars should stop. We're just saying that you have a whole world with Star Wars, right? You have the whole universe of. So there you have the whole potential of the whole universe to create different and diverse stories. You can touch on different genres: horror, political intrigue, thriller, action. There's so much stuff you can do. Get away from the whole Luke Skywalker of it all and diversify your stories. You have so many different aliens. You can tackle different themes, different styles. You can cover some creativity. We need some creativity in this, man. We really need some creativity.
Ooh.
And again, we're not saying Star Wars movies should stop. No, I love Star Wars. I don't want Star Wars movies to stop. And I don't think I want Marvel movies to stop either. We just need some diversity in the style of the movies and the series being made, in the characters being tackled, the themes being tackled. It's always the same themes, man. It's just so tiring. It's so tiring seeing the same movie repeated 10 times, well, just with some different window dressing.
Yeah.
We need some creativity. So on this argument, I completely disagree with Matthew Vaughn. I don't think we should ever reboot the original Star Wars. The original Star Wars are bloody amazing. 3 of the greatest movies ever made, especially the first 2 are 2 of the greatest movies ever made. Especially, Episode 5, in my opinion, sits there with the best movies ever made. This should never be rebooted. Continue the stories, but diversify. Make new movies.
I mean, there is, which makes me want to watch now Rebel Moon of Zack Snyder.
Yes. That is a movie I'm very interested in and excited to watch. To finish off talking about franchises, Franco, James Bond. What's the future for James Bond? So, producer Barbara Broccoli has revealed that executives haven't even begun to map out the next chapter of the long-running franchise, which saw Daniel Craig bow out in No Time to Die 2 years. That's 2 years ago. Jesus. In an interview with the Guardian newspaper, she said the team was aware that the character's next incarnation will have to reflect how the world has changed in the 20 years since Craig took on the role. I think these movies reflect the time they are in, and there's a big road ahead reinventing it for the next chapter, and we haven't even begun with that. So on and so forth, reinvention of the character, blah, blah, blah. More or less, that's what they're saying. Franco, I don't feel like we haven't talked about James Bond in a while. Where do you see this franchise going next?
Let it rest. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, that's again. I think they're feeling this kind of pressure that there are so many franchises. So this idea of like they haven't even started planning the next chapter. I mean, you know who's doing a good James Bond without the James Bond? Mission Impossible. So if they
True.
maybe they take a page out of Mission Impossible and have those great action set pieces,
Hmm.
maybe less convoluted storytelling. True, especially with the Dead Reckoning Part One. That's what they need to do now, you know. And
Yeah.
to be fair, with No Time to Die, they really humanized the James Bond as well.
Yes.
So
Yes. 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 To be fair, the Daniel Craig James Bonds really changed the direction for the character, and I think that was a much needed direct change of direction. It'll be interesting to see where they take it next. They like, and I agree with you completely. I personally feel like the Mission Impossible movies have really upped the level of these styles of international spy thrillers, and I also agree completely with producer Barbara Broccoli. Take your time, think about the
yeah,
future, make a good decision for your next James Bond. There's no need to rush. We can wait. No one's out there protesting for the next James Bond movie. Take your time, make a good decision for the next James Bond, and then, look at where are we now as a world. Because I agree again with her. The James Bond movies reflect the time when they are made in. And the period of time we are in, obviously, Mission Impossible did it first because Mission Impossible tackled the theme of AI.
yeah,
But it'll be interesting to see what is the direction for for the franchise of James Bond. Um, I can see a lot of routes they could take, and hopefully, they take their time. Again, that's all I wanted to say about this. Moving on, just a quick comment about the SAG AFTRA and studios returning to negotiations on Tuesday, which is a good sign because the last week we talked about this. We talked about obviously the breakdown of the discussions with the AMPTP members saying that they're doing their best. They're clearly not. When I hear rich billionaires saying they're doing their best, and then and then seeing them break down talks without even offering, like a response to SAG-AFTRA's proposals, you're doing anything but your best. And hopefully, SAG-AFTRA can finally reach a deal, which means that actors, get the rights they deserve. They deserve healthcare. They deserve their fair share of all the streaming, money. It shouldn't be just
yeah.
Kevin Feige filling up his pockets.
And
We've talked about this a million times,
and
and that is as love.
that is as love. But I mean, also, by the way, speaking of unions and whatnot, I think we should also again go a bit local because still the budget for the film festival and other stuff was not revealed by the local authorities at the Malta Film Commission. That's a quick mention about that.
Yeah.
I
Do you
know.
think we'll ever hear about that, Franco?
Oh, we'll hear like 5 years down the line when I'll be out of Malta. It's like, okay, whatever. I mean, I hate to say I told you so, you know.
Yeah. I mean, definitely not going to say I told you so to me because I think
Yeah,
it's quite obvious
yeah.
already what's going on.
Oh, what we I think it's only the tip of the iceberg because then we'll just
Yes,
find
yes,
out
yes,
more.
100%, 100%. All right, moving
Insomma.
on to the final news piece. I actually hadn't even heard of this, but I just saw it. It came out this morning. Although, to be fair, I was looking up the news this morning. Didn't see any of this. Anyways, so Fallout TV series. I'm a big fan of the Fallout video games. Have you played any of them, Franco?
No, but funny enough, last time I was talking to Job De Pasquale and Joe Zammit. Hi to these guys. And they did mention how they liked Fallout. Apparently, there was a really interesting, I forgot which Fallout was, where he was. The beginning is he sees his child being kidnapped and his wife being
Hmm.
shot. I forgot which Fallout it was, and it was very interesting. And yeah, there's lots to explore there, though. I know that there's a very particular How to say? Yes, Fallout says yellow. I know it has a very particular look to it.
Yes, yes, I love the style and the tone. The tone is, I think, what makes Fallout because the tone in Fallout, whilst it's a, post-apocalyptic. Again, it's in the title, right? Fallout, nuclear war, and so on. But the tone is so cheeky, so much humor, so much dark humor in it, and that's what I love most about it. Apart from obviously walking around a post-apocalyptic world which has been completely destroyed by nukes. That's also
Mm.
a fascinating experience in itself. The RPG elements in Fallout and Fallout games are also very good. I have played Fallout 3, Fallout 4, and Fallout New Vegas, and the horrific online Fallout 76, which was an absolute train wreck of a game. I try to forget that ever existed.
Do any of the viewers agree about this? Because
I don't know. Let us know in the comment section below, guys. If anyone here has played Fallout 76, maybe it has improved, but I played it
in the
opening
chat,
day,
like
and oh my god, was that bad. The amount of bugs in that game. Like Starfield was bad, but Fallout 76 was
76.
like 76 times the bugs of Starfield. Anyways, just a quick note here, guys. Let us know. Are you excited for, well, April 12th, 2024. It's almost my birthday. So my birthday is on April 13th. So I am very excited for
Oh.
this, for Fallout. We've got Westworld creators, Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy, who are working on a Fallout series to be released on Prime Video. And I'm really excited for that. So
Promising.
sounds very promising. Cast includes Ella Purnell, Yellow Jackets, Walton Goggins, Kate Follett, Aaron Motin, Emancipation. Some nice little actors here.
Okay.
So there you can also see the cast. I'm very excited for this. All right, guys. Franco, I think we've reached the moment
Dun.
to talk about the movie, the thing that all our viewers and listeners have been waiting for us to talk about, Killers of the Flower Moon.
You start.
So,
You start.
want me to start?
Yes.
All right, I'll start. So let me open up the link of that over here. IMDb, here we go. So, Killers of the Flower Moon. Just a quick summary of it from IMDb. It's difficult to summarize a 3-hour and 30-minute movie.
To all
but
people,
IMDb,
to all people in chat, can you just say where you're watching from? Most probably we have Malta for sure. We have UK, sunny, shining UK. And yes,
let us know in the comment section below, guys. So, and here is our review for Killers of the Flower Moon. And IMDb tells us that when oil is discovered in 1920s Oklahoma under Osage Nation land, Osage people are murdered one by one until the FBI steps in to unravel the mystery. That's a very, I mean, to be fair, it's hard to summarize 3 hours, 26 minutes. Let's be honest. Killers of the Flower Moon. I got into this with a slight bit of trepidation. I was slightly worried that, 3 hours, 26 minutes is a scary runtime. So I was a little worried. Personally, again, like I said an hour ago about Gen V, I should never have worried. This is Martin Scorcese. Not only does he make great historical epics, he makes bloody entertaining and fun historical epics. And this is another great epic movie. There's lots to say and unravel here. To start off with regard to positives, I have to mention, obviously, the performances, the 3 lead performances by Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone are stunning. I personally want to focus a lot on De Niro. I feel like Lily Gladstone has got a lot of very well-deserved attention for her performance, and I agree with pretty much every single critic out there that she is the heart and soul of this movie. She truly is the heart and soul of this movie. And I'm stunned that she hasn't been given big opportunities before, and that she was actually on the brink of ending her filming career before she was contacted by Martin Scorcese for this movie. I was shocked because she has the kind of face where you can tell there's so much heart behind her. She's so good in this. She's so good. Unfortunately, it's not her performance, but an aspect around the way the plot works with Lily Gladstone's character is also one of my few tiny negatives, which we'll get into later on. But De Niro, I think this is one of De Niro's. Well, I'll put it in a different way. I think this is one of my personal favorite Robert De Niro performances. I think he is so evil, and I haven't seen a character portrayed in such an evil fashion in a long, long, long time. I really miss the time when every villain didn't have to be a grayish villain. Where like, is he evil? Oh, he's a good person, but he's doing evil stuff. Or, this is a pure, greedy, cruel, evil motherfucker. He is evil. He is cruel. He does bad stuff because he's a bad person and because he wants money. And De Niro completely pulls it off. I don't think there could have been anyone better than De Niro for this role, because he is bloody evil in this. And the more I watched the movie, the more I was made angry by De Niro, and the more I had to distance myself from hating the actor and hating the character, because De Niro became the character completely for me in this movie. Like Franco, you mentioned it as well a few times whilst we were watching the movie. Man, I really hate De Niro.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, and he's fuck, man, I want to punch him so bad. I want to throw something at the screen at him.
In Maltese, we say wish taliba.
Man, he's such an evil character, and De Niro pulls it off completely. Now, this is where something I wanted to discuss with you, Franco, and I think this is a good point. Would you describe DiCaprio's character as a completely evil character or as more on the grayish side of things? Because I'm like, I can't decide. What do you think?
But this could be a good moment to say my comments. I completely agree. So first, starting with the good stuff, I completely agree with you saying De Niro is great in this. Like, it's one of those. He's a clear-cut evil character, but the way he portrays it and his mannerisms and his two-faced character was very well portrayed. It's like when he goes to prey upon one of the natives, and he's like, yeah, he knows all the it's like, for people who didn't know the backstory behind this evil motherfucker, they would be like, oh, this guy is honorable.
Yes. Because that's something else you have to mention, Franco, because I focused on the evil element of him, but then you have the whole charismatic personality as well that De Niro clearly can pull off in his sleep, because he's super charismatic as well.
True. No, it's a very he is William Hale is a politician through and through. It's like I make an example of myself being like the not uptight, the example of dignity, keeper of the peace of this of Fairfax in Oklahoma, where all the thing takes place. Another thing I have to applaud is the production design.
Yes, 100%.
There were some brilliant shots, especially by cinematographer Rodrigo Prieto, like the oil scene and the
fire scene.
The fire scene. Oh my god, the fire scene was great. The fire scene. And I was surprised by how many long shots there were in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like
there was one scene where the camera goes out of the house and there's the cars driving.
Yes.
That's such a great scene. I can only imagine how hard it is to shoot that whole scene, like with the one take, with the cars driving and everyone chasing after the cars. That must have been really.
I think when there was the explosion, right?
No. Oh yes, then there was the explosion scene as well.
Yes.
I was thinking of the car, when they were racing the cars at the start of the movie.
Yes.
But then there was the explosion scene as well, where they're tracking everyone running at the house, which exploded. There's lots of scenes which were
memorable. Look, but then here's what was
before we get into the negatives, Franco. Did you want to say other positives? So negatives we'll mention in a little bit.
What was the original question actually? I forgot.
DiCaprio. Would you say DiCaprio's character is completely evil, or would you put him more in the grayish
No,
category?
that would be I would put it in the negative thing because I also read the book on which the movie is based upon. I mean, in real life, he didn't have. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Listen, I saw the review by the Osage, one of the Osage consultants for this movie, and he says like that thing is not love. Like, for example, I don't know if Francesca is in chat, but when he goes up to her and says, "I'm sorry," it's like she's up. Tipo, I would if I was in the shoes of Murray Burkhardt, I would slap him left, right, and center. Tipo, I'm sorry, you killed your spoiler alert. By the way, you killed half of my family. Sorry, sorry, lost. Yeah, I would say with these,
Do you think he loved her? Do you think he loved her? Like, I don't think you can ever. I think it's a very deluded love that Ernest Burkhardt has for Lily Gladstone's character.
So the book says like he knew he did wrong, and his admission, like he spent his time in prison to redeem himself, but his family, like as far as I know, Cowboy, when they tried to meet him again, they were very angry at him, because I mean, trying to kill your mother, your father trying to kill your mother is something I wouldn't wish on any family, and this is why this is a good segue to my negatives. Like I really for once Lily Gladstone was really underused. I mean, I don't know.
I would say that's my one negative. That's my personally my one negative. I have a lot more positives, but that's my one negative.
And again, like I have to read more but I expected the perspective to be more from her side. In fact, I was thinking about how I would have edited this movie. I would have first shown her perspective and then showed Ernest's perspective. It's funny how he showed. Actually, this is one of the positives because the book doesn't say immediately that Ernest is an evil character. The book leaves it. It's like his involvement in everything is just in a few accidents here and there, and also the poisoning of his wife. But Scorsese just made it show like, listen, he's a criminal. He loves money, and he's gonna do anything, even illegal, to get money. I think that was his only love, to be honest. Money, it's like I don't know. And another negative. I'm sorry, this was too long. I would have shaved 45 minutes. I'm sorry, but it's again. Granted, disclaimer. I was like up from 6 in the morning and watched a 3 hour movie. But I'm sorry, there was a moment where I nodded off. During the courtroom scenes. Like I never expected me nodding off in a Martin Scorcese movie. So there's that. But again, I'm going to give it another chance and see what we're rested. Like I'm going to watch it with the rest of the Pricklies, as I said before. And I can say I hated it, but I'm not bowled over by it, and I have the same mixed feelings as the Osage consultant said. Like this felt for me is like the Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio show. Great performances, but I felt it was a bit tonally all over the place. Like I felt somehow the black humor
Totally all over the place.
Because the black humor, I didn't feel the black humor was in place.
But the black humor, I could listen. Scorsese always likes to fit in little snippets of humor in his movies. It's a classic Scorsese thing. In this movie, I think the humor was some of the most awkward for a very obvious reason, because we are, as people, we are watching stuff happen in a period of time where life was completely different. For example, the Ku Klux Klan scene. At one point, we see the KKK walking in the middle of Native Americans. You're like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
No.
Or you see the portrait of the KKK knight on the wall.
That's
like, holy shit, this guy literally has a portrait. And that makes you chuckle, right? But at the
Yeah.
same time, like you feel really evil about chuckling at the same time.
Yes,
I think that's a very good thing about this movie.
yes, but there was also the moments where it's like, speaking before I go into the humor, there were some moments I really felt they were improvising. I really felt these improvisations. Like, please snip off, snip off. I know you're improvising. There were some moments I really felt it, and it's like Martin Scorsese lost a bit his old. Granted, listen. By the way, I'm saying all these negatives. I said this movie is akin to Sound of Freedom, but and this is very important. Martin Scorsese did this in good faith. Still, I cannot help but agree with what the authors said, that this is.
I disagree. I disagree. Reason being is because number one, this is Martin Scorsese's movie. So if an Osage director wants to make a movie from the point of view of the Osage, well, in I'd love to see that, and please go ahead and make it. But this is Martin Scorsese making the movie,
And-
not an Osage person.
and to
If
and to add,
someone like Martin Scorsese, let me finish this, Franco, and then go ahead. If Martin Scorsese were to even attempt to make the movie from the point of view of the Osage, I don't think it would be a Martin Scorsese movie, because he is giving his interpretation and his take as an Italian American and his view of things. We know what kind of movies Scorsese makes. We know he loves to focus on the evil dudes. It's a fact. It's a fact. And I think his decision to focus on the evil dudes was what made the movie such a flowing movie for me personally. Because I'm always like, holy shit, what's De Niro going to do next? What's DiCaprio going to do next? What's the next evil thing they're going to do next? And I also disagree, because I think despite the big focus, and I agree there's a big focus on DiCaprio and De Niro, more so than on the Osage, I still think that there is a lot of respect for the Osage Nation in this movie. There is a lot of respect. And I think if Osage people think they were disrespected by this movie, that's their respect.
no,
Completely
no,
disagree.
they didn't feel disrespected. They said they have mixed feelings. They have mixed feelings. They didn't say they disrespected. They did say, like, the review I showed you, it is a magnificent film. And I was going to tell you, and I was going to tell you before, that this is Martin Scorsese's passion project. So to add to your view, and I, like I said, I know he's done it in good faith, especially when he. This is spoiler alert, a huge spoiler alert, by the way, guys. So whosoever doesn't want to hear this, plug your ears. Anyway, let me not ruin it for you. But at the end, it feels like he's done it in good faith. Still, I don't know. I felt like listen. I know black humor. There's a really fine line with black humor, and you understand the context. Like the examples you mentioned of the Ku Klux Klan, they were hilarious. Yes, for sure. It's like lala, people did fucking hell. they didn't know what happened as well, but. There were moments where it's like, but he was supposed to shoot him from the front, not the back. Like,
Yeah, that made me laugh so much, because you are watching also, apart from the fact that they're evil, also incompetent persons doing this shit.
But
DiCaprio's character is incompetent. He's stupid.
Again, but that's why I'm saying it undercuts the tragedy that these people are almost. I mean, speaking of ethnic cleansing. These people were almost killed off because of money. So
yes. Don't you feel the movie showed that well, though, Franco?
It was undercut by the humor. That's why I'm saying it tonally wasn't there. You know what I mean? So
no, I completely disagree. Like seeing the brutal shooting. Like Joe, I wish he was here to make this point. Joe mentioned something in chat right after watching the movie. Scorsese does brutal murder, especially people getting shot, in such a brutally clear way. There's something about the way people get shot in Scorsese movies which feels like
you feel
even
it.
in the cinema. Franco, do you remember the first time someone got shot?
The woman, yes.
Everyone felt almost shocked. And I mean, you're watching a Scorsese movie. You're going to see a lot of people being shot.
No,
the last movie Last movie I watched was The Irishman, where everyone getting shot left, right, and
but
center.
and
But you still heard the
yeah, of
of that
course.
because Scorsese shoots it in such an effective way.
And that's another positive I would grant him, that he wasn't he said like he didn't go actually Thelma Schoonmaker said, his editor, she said like this movie was more quiet and he doesn't focus a lot on the brutality of the murders, and that's granted. I can grant him that. And you know what I liked? I genuinely liked the last scene of the radio,
Yes.
because that was
Without getting into details, final scene I thought was very effective. I agree completely. Very, very effective. It could have been done in just words on the screen.
no
Instead,
no
they found a very creative way.
no, but maybe that's where I will actually undercut my own argument, because maybe that last scene is the key to the whole movie. Like, where was this truly entertainment? For us, was entertainment, but for the people who suffered from this tragedy, that was no entertainment. You know what I mean? Maybe that's where I can look over. But anyway, long story short, I have to reevaluate it. Um, uh, Still, people go watch it, make your own opinions. But that's where I stand. And in fact,
Also, Franco, we mentioned this last because I think Francesca mentioned this. The person who plays Chief Bonnicastle, Yancy Ray Redcorn, who gives that really good speech. And we were like, oh my God, that was such a good speech. That was like really passionate. Listen to this. I found this on Twitter and I looked it up and I confirmed it. Yancy Redcorn, who plays Chief Bonnicastle with such spiritual force in Killers of the Flower Moon, is the great-grandson of Raymond Redcorn Sr., who was poisoned during the Reign of Terror.
yes,
His murder was never solved.
yes,
And that explains the passion behind that scene, because there
Yes.
was true passion. I was like, oh my God, this is such good acting. Like, how did they find such a good actor for this scene? Like, this is insane.
that was for the council. Oh, when
Yes.
like that was a moment. Like, speaking of De Niro's performance, that was a moment where like ilalla kemm int ipokrita. What a fucking hypocrite William Hale is. It's like
Yep. The King.
the king of Osage Hills. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man, that performance will stay in my. Do you think that's an Oscar-worthy performance, supporting performance
It's,
by De Niro?
his evil was understated, but to the right point. It's like that.
Yep.
You still know that he's being an asshole.
Never overdoes it. Always sticks to the line, kind of. But oh my God, you hate him. You really hate him. I don't think DiCaprio gives a best performance.
No.
Worthy.
And
He's good. Don't get me wrong. He's very good. But I don't think it's anywhere close to something
no.
like
DiCaprio and Lily Gladstone. I preferred Lily Gladstone as well. Lily Gladstone had that.
Yes.
Again, even that thing with Lily Gladstone, when he goes and says, "I'm sorry," I'm wondering whether I misinterpreted her interpretation. I don't know whether like her face was like acting in front of her husband to show that like she knows what he did, but she's being like, "Oh yes, I still love you," or not, because she had that face, like an expressionless face, but aware of what's happening around her, of who did what to who. You know what I mean?
Yes. Her facial expressions were great. Also, quite funny at times. She has very good comedic timing as well.
Yes.
At the start of the movie, when she's kind of like flirting, her and DiCaprio, very, very good comedic timing as well.
Yes.
In some of those scenes. So to conclude, Franco, I know it's hard to give a movie like this a rating. If you had a gun to your head,
3.5. 3.5 on 5.
Okay. Damn. All right.
Like,
So
it would be a 7 on 10. That's
Okay.
7 on 10. It's
Fair enough.
decent.
Fair enough. In my case, I'll give this, I think, in my opinion, a well-deserved 5 out of 5. I also wanted to mention something about my rating in a second, but let's finish off this review first. 5 out of 5, in my opinion, very well deserved. I think this is probably up there with my favorite movie of the year. I think I prefer this more to Oppenheimer. I think for me, the pacing of this movie was better than Oppenheimer. I thought that.
No way.
I was 3 hours in. 3 hours in. I was like, I don't care. I want more. Give me more. Give me more. I want to see more, more, more. I love this. I too woke up at 6 in the morning. There was no way I was sleeping during this movie. Though. I was like on the edge of my seat throughout. I was, oh man, every scene is like a portrait. Such beautiful
Every scene a
shots.
painting.
Such beautiful shots, man. The fire scene, the oil scene when it bursts out and they're
When
dancing.
when they get Ernest to beat all the elders of the town.
Oh my god, that scene when you've got all the different oil barons there sitting down and the family, and he walks in and then there's it reminds me of the quote. Can you see the what was the quote? Can you see the wolves in the
Wolves in
picture?
the picture.
And this is also very quotable, super quotable movie as well. The writing and the dialogue is excellent stuff. Like I said, sometimes it's funny, but in my opinion, because obviously Franco, clearly you disagree, the humor never undercuts the drama. Some scenes I was like, oh my, completely distraught in the cinema, completely distraught. Seeing so many members of the Osage tribe die was devastating. The final scene almost broke me, seeing someone cry. Oh, that broke me completely. And I had, at the same time, I had goosebumps because of how well shot and how well done that scene was. But at the same time, I felt completely depressed, seeing kind of like how upset someone was in that scene. Really, really broke me. But at the same time, I'm like, fuck, man, this is such a good scene as well.
Is it the basement scene when
No, no, no. The final scene. The final scene. The final scene. The final scene.
Madonna
When
in
someone speaks
in the
at the
courtroom
end.
in the courtroom
No, no, no. After, like, after the whole story
and
ends, kind of, we get the summary, right, of where everyone goes.
that was no that moment was goosebump inducing.
Hmm, 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 hmm.
Did you notice, by the way?
Yes, Franco?
No, that would spoil. But there was a famous singer of a famous duo.
Yes, no, I didn't catch it. I didn't catch the famous. There's a lot of famous singers apparently in this movie. A lot of the gangsters, a lot of the gangsters are apparently all acted by famous singers, country singers.
Sturgill
Apparently,
Simpson, the same guy who
no, I
was
didn't
in
catch it.
the creator. Anyway,
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it. Overall, I have to say that this is, in my opinion, one of the best movies I have watched in a very, very, very long time.
don't believe the hype,
Uh,
chat. Don't believe the hype. Oh,
So, Keith,
Ki-
letting us know, I agree there is much more to tell in this story, but it would be better developed in a TV limited series. It's actually not a bad idea at all.
actually, thank you, Keith, because I was going to say it. It does. I mean, but that it does show that this was made for streaming. I feel like they should do a film cut where you remove 45 minutes of the movie, and then they do the streaming cut where they leave it like make the director's cut.
Like what they're going to do with Napoleon, basically, right?
They're doing it, but Napoleon
Yeah,
is Netflix. No,
Napoleon is Apple as well.
Apple as well.
Oh, Apple, man. I've since the beginning of this podcast, I can attest, as much as I hate their products, I love their streaming service. Super cheap, something like €5 a month, very, very cheap streaming service, and quality shows. And now the fact that they're throwing so much money at directors like Scorsese
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott, man. I mean, I haven't bought an Apple mobile ever in my life. I never bought an iPhone or an iPad or anything. And I always make fun of their fans. But with regard to their streaming service, I tip my fedora to them. Great stuff, man. Great stuff. So I think, Franco, we can conclude here.
Yep.
Guys and gals and they in the chat, let us know in the comment section below. Have you watched Killers of the Flower Moon? Let us know your thoughts about it. Also, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please do leave a like to show us your appreciation, and please do subscribe.
But
Half of the viewers on this show are not subscribed, so please do. Franco?
I wanted to say, despite my rating, please do go watch a Scorsese movie in the cinema, not on TV. So that's all I'm gonna say. Because at the end of the day, I was really happy to watch a Scorsese movie on the big screen. It made a difference nonetheless as well. That's all.
Definitely.
And by the way, another thing, From the River to the Sea, Free Palestine.
Yes, agreed. So, with that, I think that's a good way to end this podcast. I want to mention I'm being a bit harsher with my rating system, Franco, which is quite ironic that I just gave a 5 out of 5, though. But I absolutely loved Killers of the Flower. But I went through my whole Letterboxd and I just reduced every movie by a half. I was like, should I reduce Oppenheimer from a 5 to a 4.5? But I was like, no, I'll keep Oppenheimer. But apart from Oppenheimer, I literally cut even 1 star out of a lot of movies.
Yeah, okay.
So my ranking system is changing a little bit. 3.5 is a good movie, but with some flaws. 4 is a very, very good movie. 4.5 is almost perfection. For me, Killers of the Flower Moon is a 5. It's perfection. For me, personally, of course. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this podcast. Franco, I don't know if you want to mention anything else before we end.
That's it. Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for staying with us until this ungodly hour. Good night. Have a good night's sleep. And